same problem. Let's go ahead and read the problem before looking at the graph. Let T of T denote the temperature in capital T. So capital T is temperature. Capital T will be temperature. And in green, I'm going to measure the lowercase t is actually hours after midnight on any given day. So capital T is temperature in Celsius, degrees Celsius, right? Let's put that in red actually. And let's look at the graph. Well, in this graph, as you can see, capital T is temperature. And sometimes we put it with a parenthesis because the whole function is called uppercase T. But the one that's important here is also the time, lowercase time, per hour. Well, if this is the time, look at this, guys. If this is the hours after midnight, well, guys, what time do you think it's at zero? If it's hours after midnight and no time has passed, well, we simply call this midnight. So 2 hours after midnight will be 2 a.m. 4 hours after midnight will be 4 a.m. Well, what will be 14 hours after midnight? Well, if 12 hours after is 12 p.m., this will be 2 p.m. 16 hours after will be 4 p.m. This will be 6 p.m. And this one, the 20, will be 8 p.m. It's very important that you understand this, guys. Now, let's understand what they're asking here, guys. We want to know, let's erase that real quick. Let's understand what all of this is. Match the following statement with a feature of the graph. Well, we want to know the y-intercept. Well, the y-intercept is the one that crosses the y-line. And you should already know by now that the one that's vertical, up and down, is the y. Well, when it's crossing the y, it's crossing actually at -3. So when my temperature, remember the T stands for temperature, when my temperature is -3 degrees Celsius. Well, which one will talk about this -3 degrees Celsius? It was getting warmer between 2 a.m. and 2 p.m. That has nothing to do with the y-intercept. The temperature was above zero between these times. Again, nothing to do with the y-intercept. It was -3 degrees at the beginning of the day. Well, the beginning of the day, when the next day is coming when the clock turns midnight, right? On your phones, you always see if it was Tuesday 11:59 at 12 a.m. it's Wednesday. So that's the beginning of the day. So since it's talking about the right temperature we had at midnight, we're gonna go ahead and connect those two right there. Now we're talking about positive and negative intervals. Let's use a different color. Well, we talked in the past. Something is positive when it's above this zero. If it's something above, it's positive. If it's something below, it's negative. Well, we want to know when it's positive, when it's negative. So, if going up and down, we're talking about temperature, correct? Going up and down is temperature. Well, if something is above the zero, if the temperature is going higher and higher and higher, that always means it's going to get warmer because it's temperature. When something is getting lower and lower and lower in temperature in negative degrees, that's always going to get colder. It's very important that you remember this, guys. Well, with that information, let's see which one is the correct statement. It was getting warmer between 2 a.m. and 2 p.m. 2 a.m. and 2 p.m. Let's see, 2 a.m. is here, 2 p.m. is right there. Well, we're talking about positives and negatives right now. So because they're not in the same, all either positive or negative, that's not the right statement for this one. Or even if you think it is, always go over all the options you have just because there might be one that makes more sense. For example, the temperature was above zero. Now, you know something is positive or negative when it's above or below zero. So this one makes more sense because it's talking about something above zero. The temperature was above zero between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Let's see, 8 a.m., hours after midnight, is right there. 8 p.m., good thing we already wrote it, correct? 8 p.m. is right there. And isn't everything, actually, let me bring down the thickness here. Isn't everything above zero? Yeah, I would say so. So this one matches with B. Last but not least, if we're talking about increasing or decreasing, Remember, increase, it's when something is going up, like a roller coaster. Decreasing is when something is going down, when the roller coaster goes down. Well, let's look at this one then. It was getting warmer between 2 a.m. and 2 p.m. Well, where's 2 a.m.? 2 a.m. is right there. And where's 2 p.m.? Right, good thing we already labeled it. It's right there. So look at the graph. The graph is actually going up. So when the temperature gets higher and higher, we already discussed this, it's actually getting warmer. It's getting hotter. So did it go from cold to hot or warm? Yeah. So the whole thing was getting warmer as the day progressed. So we're going to go ahead and select that one. And that's basically how you do it.